guess is, and that's on my chest. Miss Spivey is the best, and I can't take credit, I just happen to be blessed. I got a message to share, listen if you dare. Don't follow the shadows, look up and see clear. I swear it's like Plato's allegory of the cave. How can I free people who choose to be slaves? I try until they put me in the grave. I promise the world I save. I'm focused.
I'm introducing not just anybody, not just any lady, the Rising Spivey host. She is the best show on TV, Bowie, DC. Ladies and gentlemen, Chimere Spivey.
Thank you, Brian, for that warm introduction. That's Brian Hampton, ladies and gentlemen, my partner in crime. He is the owner of Lifestyle Entertainment, a premier artist development company in the Washington, D.C. area. Make sure you follow him on Twitter for sports commentary. He knows all about music, of course, and he is hilarious. Today's episode is about the confident woman. I took about a 2-month hiatus from the Rising Spivey Show. Even though I was gone from this show and this studio for a while, of course, I was still working in production. Spirut Andrews Productions also produces the hit sports show Road Games, which I hope you have been watching, and also provide video production for businesses and individuals. So I've been very busy still, but I have not been in front of the camera. I've been behind the camera. And in that time, I decided I needed to get my business together. I hope that you watched the last episode of the Rising Spivey Show. I had Miss Marcia on. She is a lawyer, and she gave some excellent advice. Let's take a look at some of that.
So, I often will take an artist and I will give them guidance as to branding and marketing, maybe even song titles and image. But then I also guide them as to where they go. And if I have contacts, which I typically do, and most lawyers do in other areas, you're able to call that contact and say, hey, listen to this particular album, or listen to this particular artist, look at this on YouTube, or look what they put out on the web or on iTunes. And that helps garner a buzz from a professional perspective with that particular client.
Tell me about the branding, because as I'm growing on the Rising Spivey Show, I'm trying to build a brand. I'm trying to find what my brand is so that I can make sure that people know that. Tell me about the importance of that.
Branding is extremely important. Your name and your image and its consistency is very important.
Miss Marcia was speaking on building a brand. And this whole brand thing really bothers me because I'm struggling with it. I'll be honest with you. When people look at me, they have such high hopes. I can't tell you all how often I hear, you're going to be the next Oprah. Are you doing so good? And that is flattering. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. But really, I hope that you all are just as proud of me as if I am just the next best Chanel. The problem with building a brand is that you build something, one thing, or maybe two things that people look at and they expect you to be all the time. She spoke on it being consistent. And I'm not really a consistent person. I'm very diverse. I have a lot of things, a lot of talents. Some days I'm happy, some days I'm sad, some days I'm angry, some days I'm very positive, and some days I do feel negative. Some days I'm depressed. Some days I don't want to get out the bed. I'm human. So this whole brand thing got to me because I thought, I don't want to get placed in any box. I don't want people to just see me as this one-dimensional person with a microphone that doesn't have the right to speak her mind or can't curse, because I do. Thank you for watching the Rising Spivey Show. Cut! Oh, hey. Hey, how you doing? Girl, nothing. Just got off the stage. That ain't about nothing. I ain't worried about them. And do you know that had the nerve to say all of that about me? I was like, what? Who? Oh, hell to the knob. Girl, what? And I was like, are you all still rolling?
We're still rolling.
I'm sorry. And you all need to know that. Before we build this brand any further, I said, I pump my brakes. I got to stop right here and be confident enough to be myself, not what my viewers want me to be, not what someone else says that I should be. And that's why this episode is about the confident woman, living out loud, being who we want to be, being ourselves, speaking freely, tactfully. Let's talk about that real quick, because some people think keeping it real means you have a license to be rude, and that's just not so. You can tell people how you feel, considering their feelings as well. But back to the point, the confident woman is something that I want to talk about, because I think that a confident woman is a positive woman. And if we're positive, we can do a lot more. So I really struggle with skin issues. I've had acne all my life, to be honest with you. I have tried almost everything. And, it's not really that I get pimples that's so bad. It's the pimples that leave marks that stay there for like 2 months that really get on my nerves. That's where the problem comes. What I've decided to do, first and foremost, is drink water all the time. And then I don't let my head hit the pillow at night, no matter how tired I am, no matter how long the day is, until I have washed, toned, and moisturized my skin. And that's made a big difference. But really, while we're on the topic of skin, let's talk about something. Skin complexion within my community. Oh yeah, I've been trying to walk away from this subject for quite some time, but let's have it out. Let me just play something. Bill Duke has produced an awesome film that's soon to be coming out. It's called Dark Girls. Let's preview that real quick.
Rise, dark girls.
I can remember being in the bathtub asking my mom to put bleach in the water so that my skin would be lighter and so that I could escape the feelings that I had about not being as beautiful, as acceptable, as lovable.
If we're all just hanging around and a dark-skinned girl will pass by, they'll be, oh, well, she's pretty for a dark-skinned girl. And I'm like, well, what is that supposed to mean?
I used to wish that I can wake up one day lighter or wash my face and think that it will change. I thought it was dirt and I tried to clean it off, but it wouldn't come off.
Just doing something small as standing in front of the class to do show and tell. I wouldn't look up. I wouldn't make eye contact with anyone. I would hold my toy really tight because I knew my toy loved me, even if they didn't.
Here comes Blackie. Here comes Tar Baby. I remember one in particular, they used to say, you stayed in the oven too long. And that was really hurtful.
They would do it every single day without let up. On the playground, in the classroom, in the cafeteria, just constantly, you got it. So I didn't really have a high self-esteem.
It was so damaging. It made us feel like we weren't wanted, that we were less than.
My mother and her friend, we were driving somewhere, and she's bragging on me. She said, my daughter is beautiful. She's got great eyelashes, she's got the cheekbones, she's got great lips. And then she's going on and she adds, could you imagine if she had any lightness in her skin at all? She'd be gorgeous. And just that last little part, just all that pride that I had about her, having her brag on me, just dissipated. Just dissipated. And I think that moment is when I really became aware.
Let me tell you about the moment that I became aware. One of my close girlfriends and I were having dinner, and she told me, we were going on about why men aren't this and why they aren't doing that and treating us the way we feel like we should be treated. And she said that guys weren't taking her seriously because she had a big behind. So in her mind, she felt as though they were only looking at her as a sexual being, I guess, which I don't agree with. But she said that guys weren't taking me seriously because I was dark-skinned. This was my friend. This was my close friend. It hit me like a sack of bricks. Because I'm going to be honest with you all. I never knew of this light-skin, dark-skin thing. I really did not until about 2 years ago. Maybe because I grew up in a household where, black was beautiful. We didn't really get into those things. But after she said that to me, I began to listen to the songs that we play on the radio and hear the things that these rappers and some R&B artists would say. I noticed that lighter-skinned black women were cast in the leading roles. They always played the target or the best female, the one that all the men wanted. Hey, Jarrell, you work with the lighting and everything, and I just want to have the best show possible. What do you think I could do to improve it?
Girl, you dog.
Okay, but this time, Chimere, I want you to make me look like Beyonce.
What?
No, Nicole Kidman.
Are you crazy?
I want to be white.
I think something is wrong with you.
And then I snap back to reality. For someone to say that light skin is their preference is completely their choice. I'm not mad at that. But let's just think about why that might be your preference. Maybe you're not informed. I'm going to give you a quick 30-second, 60-second history lesson. There was a point in time that slave owners raped their slaves. And those slave women went on to have children that would be mixed. And those children got preferential treatment because they were lighter and they got to work in the house. And then the darker slaves, of course, were able to or could only work in the fields. And that created division and definitely some sort of resentment between the two. And understandably so. But it's 2011 at this point. So getting back to this Facebook post, that was the video that I saw, I was so disappointed to see that when people watched that video that they were so disappointed in those African American women for not having confidence because of what they had been through. I'm thankful that I have never been through those situations, and I'm thankful that I didn't grow up in a home or in a place where my skin complexion was looked at as a bad thing. But some people did, and I felt really disappointed in my own community because rather than wanting to lift those women's spirits up, people bashed them for lacking confidence, for not being secure within themselves. It was really like these brothers and sisters were so informed and so educated that they have forgotten that there are still people out there that struggle. Being insecure and not having confidence is not anything to bash. I say all of that to say that I hope that there are people who are just as inspired by that as I was, to be confident in ourselves, you know, because there are little girls that are my skin complexion that probably will start to see the same things that I've witnessed in the past 2 years or become aware of in the past 2 years. And I want us to be confident. And the only way to, you know, rise above that is to be confident within, to see how great we are within. And then that will shine so bright that your skin complexion will not even matter.
Hello, my name is Candy Spivey. You are watching Rising Spivey Show.
So Brian and I are going to cover confidence from a man's perspective. I'm sure that men prefer a woman with confidence. Tell us about that.
We do. We prefer, you can tell a woman's confidence and just her walking up, not even before you even say a word to her, you can tell the way she walks, the way she carries herself. How confident she is. So, you know, coming up to her, you know that you have to, you know, come correct. This can't be, you know, a girl or, no calling or.
Can she be too confident? Can she be overly confident?
Not for me. Now, that's me. But for some people, yeah, some guys are like stray away from confident women, like, oh, you know, she carries her, she thinks she's too, or they automatically, exactly, when, you know, they haven't met the person. But a lot of guys do say, you know, nah, that's not my speed. So confident women, they do have that, confident, attractive women have that problem of getting men to come up to them because they're, you know, they're scared, or that's the lack of a better word, they're really, really scared to approach a woman like that.
Have you ever dealt with an insecure woman?
Yes, all of them. No, no, I'm just playing. Don't shoot me, the 3 women that I've ever met. But I've dealt with an insecure woman, definitely. And, you know, you can tell the signs, you know, things that you may be insecure. Tips. Going through the phone. You may be insecure or crazy. You going through my phone?
No. Remember you said you was looking for your phone, boo? So I found it
for
you.
Though.
I'm not.
But
I'm not.
What happened to you was going to trust me?
I do trust you. So here's your phone. I found it for you.
There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
You was looking through it though, and it needed to be found.
No, I was making sure you had it, so you got it. So we good.
All right.
All right.
Okay. No, those are things, you know, where not do I look good in this. I mean, that, you know, that's okay. But kind of looking for reassurance on everything. You know, people who have the Facebook profiles, Twitter profiles with like nothing on. You know, you're begging for attention through some reason. So that insecure reason, dealing with that, I guess in that situation, it made it hard on a relationship, just because, you know, I'm going to validate you, but you shouldn't have to expect validation from everything and everyone else, you know. So it's like, what's holding you back? And then that means that you don't trust me to a point too, because why are you going through my phone if I told you I'm not doing anything? You know, what's dark is going to come into light. So if I am doing something, you know, people are going to do what they're going to do if they knew they were going to get caught, especially men. Men, if they knew they were going to get caught way ahead of time, and you know, put Beyonce in front of a room and watch 9 out of 10 men mess up. Not I, ladies. Maybe not Beyonce. Maybe Oprah. But we may have to edit that. But I guess, you know, people are going to do what they're going to do. So you might as well not be insecure about it. You might as well, you know, not waste your time and basically stress about something that is going to happen anyway. So
what about women and other women? You know, women, because if, for instance, if you had a girlfriend, how much space do you want her to give you when it comes to your female friends? How understanding are you as well that might be a little bit uncomfortable to her?
I'm horrible at the understanding part, so I'm just gonna put that personally, because I have a lot of female friends that are just genuinely friends, just from school, from being in a lot of places where it was just a lot of females, and you know, I don't know, people like to laugh, and you know, guys don't like my jokes. No, they do. But I just hang around a select few of guy friends. So I don't really have guy friends like besides the people that I grew up with. It's a very small group because I have a small circle of people that I trust. But I do have, you know, women friends just to gain a different perspective as well. So, but friends are just friends, and they're just in the same category as my guys friends as far as how I look at them. So, you know, I'm bad at the understanding part of it because that goes into trust for me. If I tell you that, you know, this is just a friend, I can see how, you know, that could be hard, but don't be insecure that I'm going to do anything, because they've been my friend for this matter of time, and if it was something to happen, it would already happen by now.
Speaking of the other woman, I want to talk to Chimere right now about how women deal with each other and our confidence and some of our insecurities. And she always trying to act like, because she do makeup, she always coming in here with her makeup looking all good, like she all of that. I don't know who told her she was all of that, just because she know how to do makeup.
Hey.
Hey, girl, how you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm good. You having lunch?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
We should go.
We should. Come
Yeah,
on.
all right.
Yeah, because you know I just got a new client. They shooting a commercial. It's going to be off the chain.
And you know I went with my client in February for the Grammys, and so she just got asked to be a part of a movie. So we're going back to LA in August.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, and you know, a guy I'm dating asked me to go to Brazil with him soon, so I think I'm going to go with him there too.
Well, that's what's up. But you know what? My new boyfriend, his cousin used to live next door to one of Beyonce's backup dancers from her first tour. And she's going to talk to her about letting me shoot her next video.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. My cousin, who is Jay-Z's bodyguard, he is going to try to get a record deal under the Rock Nation label. So it looks like I'm going to be having a lot of work to do as far as the makeup is concerned.
That's cool. That's cool. But you know what? Oprah, I think she left me a voicemail asking did I want to take over her show.
Oh, you know what? It looks like Obama needs a makeup artist for his next appearance on Fox News. So I think I'll be working well into December.
That's hot.
Yeah.
But you know what? Michael Jackson, they're digging up his grave, using his DNA, reincarnating him, and I'm shooting their first video.
Well, you know what? Somebody just sent me 20 pairs of Louis Vuitton shoes, so I think I'm doing pretty good. If you need a pair to borrow, you can definitely borrow a pair of mine.
Well, you know that my brother, he's a security guard at Tiffany's. And he said he could hook me up with anything.
You know, actually next year I'm taking a European tour of like 6 or 7 European countries. I'm going to Switzerland, Greenland, Finland. So if you think that you'll be in that area, you should probably try to come and hang with us.
Well, you know that? I'm going to Jupiter. Okay, so if you all didn't know, Chimere is my makeup artist, Face to Face Beauty, and she is in the studio with us today on camera. You're not nervous, are you?
No, not really.
Okay,
no.
so she's going to talk to us about, we're going to talk about women and our confidence in dealing with each other. Because, honestly, I worked in government and it was very cutthroat. Women were not very supportive of each other. They talked behind each other's backs because there weren't a lot of opportunities for each other.
Right.
So we had to fight and claw our way to the top. Well, I didn't. I jumped ship on that. But, some of them have to still.
Right.
What has been your experience with that?
I, too, have also worked in government for about 5 years. And I did see how cutthroat that industry can be. I have always been a very polite, accommodatable type of woman, very open and a very talkative person, as you know. So I did notice that there were my superiors who were also female. When I would come to work, I would just come and I would just, be greeting everybody. Good morning, how you doing? And my boss, who, like I said, who was a female, she had a big problem with that. And I think it was because she said at one time, she said, oh, you're just too popular. So I think that there is definitely a need for us to support one another in the workplace, especially in such a workplace where not only do we struggle with the gender, there are very few women leaders, there are also very few black women leaders in that industry. So this woman wasn't African American, but she was Hispanic. And I did notice how mean and how just arrogant and nasty that she was towards me.
And she said you were too confident, which really meant that she was insecure about your status and your popularity. Oh, I'm sorry, she said you were too popular, which means she was insecure about your confidence and being able to go up to people and speak to people and be open, like you said.
Right, and just be my cordial self, which is what I try to be on a regular basis.
Right.
So even with my dress, she talked about my dress. Oh, you're a fashion model. Every day I was something new. I think just because she was probably envious of my personality, envious of who I was, and definitely envious of my work ethic. So it was very daunting, and it was a very challenging work environment to work in.
When I joined myself, I felt like I latched on. When I got into government, it was like I went from working from a very small office of about 6 of us, to going into a building of like 1,200 people and trying to find my way and who to sit within the cafeteria. It was like school almost.
It is.
And they got cliques going on and everything. And this probably isn't just government, in the corporate world too.
And also the makeup industry, which I'm in, and I still consider myself every day to be an aspiring makeup artist because I don't ever want to think I've reached a certain plateau or level. I'm noticing even, especially on the social media networks, as we were discussing off camera, there are a lot of women makeup artists who are aspiring, who are beginners, that are not as established and not as educated about makeup or cosmetics, who are definitely feeling the ramifications of being a beginner from more seasoned women makeup artists. And it's a very challenging experience to know that you expect when you come into a certain industry or environment, you expect to be applauded even for trying. A makeup artist or an actress or a hairstylist, when you're beginning, you're still learning the ropes. You're hoping, like you said, that you can latch on to somebody who will help you, especially if you're a woman, another woman. But to find that in such a open industry such as the beauty industry, there's still a lot of hating, there's still a lot of jealousy, there's still a lot of criticism that goes beyond just, oh, how about you work on achieving this better or learning this aspect better. It's actually just cutthroat, nasty comments and thoughts and ideas from one person to the next.
Right, and that's unfortunate because, you know, like you said, you want to be embraced. You want to just be embraced for trying.
You do, and you know, the fact that we have come such a long way as a gender of women, you know, from the 60s revolutions of burning bras to where we can have Oprahs and Tyras and other people like that. You really wish that you had more women to say, hey girl, you're doing your thing. You know, like as a makeup artist, like I said, I was hoping that when I came into the business that it would be more women saying, pat me on my back, saying, I even appreciate you trying. That's why now when I mentor people and mentor aspiring makeup artists also, I always try to give them their flowers and to tell them how great they're doing. And just kind of be very gentle with my criticism. To be very honest and fair, but to just also be gentle and to know that they're still learning as I am too.
Right, and we all are, you know, especially when you mentioned Twitter, it really interests me because, you know, people who are right here in this area who are on the same grind as everybody else, you're not Hollywood if you still tweeting from DC, as far as I'm concerned. To really get on people, they do it a lot with the models too. They really get on models because there are a lot of aspiring ladies out there who are models, and they call them amateurs. I know photographers that really beat them up like something serious. But you know, you would like to, like you said, you would like to be embraced. You would like to try, because when you go into this type of thing, there are no guarantees, and you have to feel your own way. You have to build your own career, and it's difficult. I wish that we would be more supportive, because if we were more supportive, if we grouped together, we could be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, we really could.
We could, yeah. And I definitely think that when you are in an environment with other women who are not as supportive of one another, you oftentimes want to crouch down and be super humble, as one of my new terms is. You're so humble that you forget to really put some shine on yourself. A lot of other makeup artists would be surprised to know that in February I went to LA to work with a Grammy-nominated client, you know, but I don't put that out there all the time because I feel like my work should speak for itself, and I also sometimes have a fear of not being supported by other artists. You know, oh, what do you think you're doing in LA? You know, why you get to go to LA and I've been grinding longer than you? It's just all about a supportive thing, you know. So
and that's true. You don't want to put too much out there. Sometimes I don't want to share too much good news because people will say, you know, well, what's next and what you got going? The expectation, you build expectations, and I want to give people good news so they could be happy for me, not so they could just have something to say, basically.
Right, and to also believe and know that they can do it too. Just like you're doing it and you're struggling to do it, you're grinding, you're putting your time in, that they can do it and achieve it as well.
Yeah, you're right. And I hope that is what I hope that's what I give off. I feel like that's what I try to give off, is that I'm trying. I try to be very honest about how hard it is. You know, that I'm still, like you said, trying. I'm very humble. I want to survive in this thing, but I realize that everybody doesn't, and I know that. I say that very openly, that I know that I'm just trying to make it, and I hope that you all like it.
Right, we do.
Lift your head up to the sky. Don't let life pass you by. This is your life, this is your world. Use your big smile, you're a strong girl. When inside of circumstance, you could cry or you could dance. Keep on trying, don't let talk girls speak up loud now. You're a strong girl. When life seems so strange, mixed up and rearranged, but you know how it's supposed to be. Just fix it up just so, how it's supposed to go. Change is all about you and me. So lift your hands